Hey everybody, I'm Jesse, and welcome to another edition of Gen X Thinks. And today I'm going to talk about 5 of the Gen X traits that the rest of the world needs, and needs pretty badly in my opinion. Number 1 is thrifting, or buying vintage items, buying used stuff, that kind of thing. Now, in an economy and in a culture where we're buying so much just cheap throwaway crap, just cheap Chinese crap, right? And we just buy new stuff and we throw it away, and it's bad for the environment. It's bad for the economy. It's bad probably for our health. It's bad for our mental health. It's bad for our wallets. It's bad all the way around. And you can honestly get better quality stuff in still really good condition used. You know, for a lot of times you can get something, a name brand quality product used for less expensive than you can get some kind of off-brand shit brand new. And the name brand stuff will last you a lot longer, even though it's been slightly used. But a lot of people, there's some stigma against, buying used stuff. And of course, if you've been watching my channel for a while, you know that I believe that's by design. A lot of this shit in our culture is by design. We're programmed, to want new shiny shit. We're like bass now, you know what I mean? The fish. A shiny lure goes by and we just snap at it. As humanity, as a people, not necessarily Gen X. And that's why I think that Gen X, that trait, that idea that used stuff is just as good. We'll buy used stuff. We'll save some money. We'll save on the environment. We won't, throw another piece of crap into the landfill. We'll reuse something or get something of quality, cast iron skillets and stuff like that. Those things last forever, literally forever. They'll last you the rest of your life. You buy one skillet, it's higher maintenance, yes, but in my opinion, stuff cooked in that just tastes better. But you don't ever have to worry about buying another one and that kind of thing. And I think the rest of the world could really benefit from that idea, from that reprogramming against the shiny new stuff. That Gen X trait where we accept and we don't judge each other for buying used stuff, for having, hand-me-downs or thrift store items or whatever. How is that even a thing that, people are judgmental towards each other for buying something that has been used by another person? That's really arbitrary and weird when you think about it, right? No, mine has to be brand new. So I don't know. It's strange to me. And I think that a lot of the world could benefit from that Gen X trait. Number 2 is skepticism. Skepticism for corporations, for governments, that kind of thing. Gen X has always been skeptical. We've always questioned things. Are they really, out for our best interests? Are they really that concerned about my health? Are they really that concerned about my happiness? Really? You're not trying to make money here, Are you really trying to defend democracy? Going over there and doing all that crazy shit. This kind of stuff where we question these things, right? Where we're just skeptical. We're skeptical against governments, against big corporations. We're skeptical, and we don't swallow that shit hook, line, and sinker. We ask questions. We look at motives, and normally it's money. It boils down to profit margins, not humanity, not, what is best for me and my family or my town or my country. It boils down to how much money can they make, right? If they get a bunch of lawsuits or whatever, will the lawsuits cost them more than just pushing out a damaged product? Will they make more money if they just push it out and suffer the lawsuits, or will they make more money if they just avoid the lawsuits and fix the shit. They're going to make the decision based on profit, not on what's better for their customers. Period. End of story. Gen X knows this. And if the rest of the world would open their eyes and realize this shit, then I think that the world would be a better place. And these other generations would be happier. Number 3, we made an entire cultural statement out of one word. Whatever. Whatever. You know, we had that whole thing going on where, you know, we weren't going to get in some kind of bullshit argument. Talk to the hand. The man ain't listening. You know what I'm saying? And so we weren't going to get into all kind of bullshit arguments and get all upset over some bullshit somebody said. We weren't going to get offended and get in, just raise our blood pressure and get all upset over some shit. Whatever, man. Whatever, dude. Whatever. That's how we are. That's how we were. That's how we've stayed. And, you know, and it goes back to that quote from Fight Club where Tyler Durden said, the ability to let that which does not matter truly slide. And that, I think, it hits the nail on the head. If it doesn't matter, just let it slide and truly slide, not just ignore it and fume on it later or whatever. I mean, let it truly slide where you don't think about it again. It's not even on your radar anymore. Let that shit slide. Don't, you know, all this raging online and the keyboard warriors and all the protesting and swastikas and burning and all this shit. Dude, you know, all this stuff, just say whatever, dude. Whatever. Talk to the hand, you know. Let it go. You can't be happy if you're constantly upset over being offended or somebody's rights or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You can't. So sometimes you just got to say whatever and let it slide. Let it go. Especially if you can't change it, if you can't really do anything about it, if all your frustration and your anger and your motives and all that, just the angst and it all leads to nothing. It'll accomplish absolutely nothing. You will not change a damn thing. So all of that wasted energy could have gone toward something positive to improve your life. But instead you wasted it fruitlessly on a bunch of arguments and bullshit. So yeah, just get you a big dose of whatever, the rest of the world. Learn from Gen X. That's my advice. Number 4, and this is going to sound crazy when I first say it, but we're snobs. In this day and age, we're snobs, right? We want quality shit. We want quality music, quality movies, quality art, quality food, quality healthcare. We just want shit to be good. We want quality, right? We're the snobs now. We expect quality. And the rest of the world has just given up on that shit. They're happy with this vanilla milk water bullshit entertainment, and just as long as it's got some great graphics or whatever, or sounds, I don't know. I don't even know how it sounds anymore, music wise. I have no idea. So what probably just best guess is that it's disgusting and vulgar. As long as it's disgusting and vulgar, you can, win you a couple of Grammys or something. But the quality, that we're the only generation now that demands quality. We demand it. And that's why we go back to the nostalgic era of the 80s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, because there was still originality. There was still quality, and people cared. People cared about art. They cared about music. They cared not just about the number of clicks, the number of views, the number of, sponsors or whatever. So that has gone away, that quality. And I think the rest of the world could use some of that snobbery, some of that And we're not complete snobs. I'm not saying that, but we do have a little bit of snobbery because we expect quality. It's just bottom line. We want good shit. We don't want this fake, cheap, vanilla bullshit. And the rest of the world could learn by that and have quality shit, you know? They're going to be looking back on the old days and saying, well, that was crap, you know? Where we can look back on the old days and say, hey, that was awesome. So, yeah, I think that they should just, and a lot of that is customer driven. Because all these younger kids, they don't expect quality. They don't expect good things. They don't expect originality. They'll flock to some bullshit just because it has the right ideological message, the right programming. So they're supposed to be into it, so they're into it. Yeah, and that's we just rejected all that shit, and I think that we're better off for it. I think that everybody would be happier and it'd be a better place if we had a little more snobbery. And number 5 is Gen X's hallmark, apathy. We don't care. We don't care. And back to the whatever thing, we don't care about what doesn't matter. Okay, the next global catastrophe, the impending doom by the doomsayers on social media, on mainstream media, on, the next apocalypse. We're all going to die. The earth is going to freeze. The earth is going to boil. It's going to be arid. It's going to be wet. It's going to be hot. It's going to be cold. Whatever they're saying is going to happen in the next, 10 to 20 years. As they've been saying my entire lifetime. It's going to be an ice age. It's going to be a drought. It's going to be a nuclear winter. It's going to be an asteroid. It's going to be a grid down Y2K thing. It's going to be a scorched earth because of the ozone layer. Whatever. I mean, we've been through it all. We have lived through it all. So now we're apathetic to the whole thing. We don't care. We don't care what the media is saying because we know the media is full of shit. So if they're talking about the next impending apocalypse, okay, bring it. We're like, okay, when it happens, then I'll worry about it, okay? Right now, I'm not going to worry about it. When the apocalypse actually happens, then I'll waste some energy thinking about it. Worrying about it anyway, I mean, a lot of us are preppers. We're prepared for it, but that's not the same as worrying about it and going out and trying to change the world, trying to divert this looming apocalypse with all this crazy, weird bullshit, chopping down trees and burying them under the ground and stuff, and all this stuff they're doing, So, yeah, we know that stuff doesn't matter. We know that it really doesn't. And it's all bullshit. So we don't care about it. We don't care about bullshit. I'm sorry. This is the way it is. And we know bullshit. We've got a bullshit detector, bullshit radar that is locked on and constantly cranking out 400,000 amps. You know what I'm saying? We can detect some bullshit. As soon as one of those talking heads get on there and start telling us that we need to pay more money and do all this stuff to avoid the next global disaster, our bullshit detector goes off. Just like it did, because they're just repeating the same message, just with different words that they had back in the 70s with the Ice Age. So it's a whole thing, and a lot of people, I think, would benefit from that, just not caring, because you just can't be happy if you're constantly worried about the end of the world. You can't be happy. Just live your damn life. Oh well, what will be will be. It is what it is. When it happens, then I'll worry about it. I can't do anything about it. Me going and buying, a certain thing for a certain markup on taxes and stuff is not going to save the world. It's not going to. I'm sorry. We know it. going green. Going green would be stopping the destruction of trees. Stopping them going out there and stopping them bulldozing the trees that they're doing in the name of going green. It's completely backwards. But yeah, we know they're full of shit and we don't care. We don't care anymore. Not about the bullshit. We care about the real shit, the shit that needs to be cared about, the things that really actually matter. But if they don't matter, we don't care. And I think the rest of the world could use that. I mean, and they would be happier. And in saying that, I think that Gen X is the happiest generation. I mean, even with the boomers, they have more money. They got to live through an adulthood period where they could actually buy a house and save some money and stuff, which we really have never had, not on an entire generation-wide scale. Some of us have, don't get me wrong. But the boomers, all of them had that opportunity. And so they have more money than us. But they're not as happy. They're just not, because they're all wrapped up in all this stuff and you know, raising their blood pressure because of all these political and ideological issues. And why? You know, what's the point? They're so worried about the weather and all this stuff that they're not happy. And if you want to do something that really matters for your children, you know, do something that matters for your grandchildren. Pick things that are actually affecting something that actually matter. You know, there are plenty of things that are happening that will actually affect people and our children and stuff. These things can be dealt with. These things can be, you know, if you're feeling that way, cast a vote and put your 2 cents in. But to worry about it constantly and to go out there and paint swastikas and all this shit, smash cars, that's a waste of time. In my opinion, it's just, you know, throwing away your health and your happiness for no reason. When it comes time to do something, cast a vote. Until then, don't worry about it. You can't do anything about it anyway. All of your rage and all that is wasted. But yeah, I think that those 5 things could actually make the rest of the world happier. I think Gen X is close to having the key to happiness. I mean, we don't have it. We're not all happy. We're not all just living in this blissful place. But we at least most of us realize that there is no pure happiness. There is no pure blissful state. We just got to find happiness within ourselves and contentment within ourselves. And that's it. That's the key. Live our life on our own terms. Be as free as we can in the day and age we live in. And I think Gen X has come the closest to that in any generation of my lifetime. And I'll leave you there with that. If you'd like to support the channel by becoming a member, I'll put that link down in the description, or you can head over to the channel page and become a member that way. If you'd like to support the channel directly, you can do so by clicking on that super thanks button down there. Or you can head over to Buy Me a Cup of Coffee and buy me a cup of coffee. I'll put that link down in the description too. If you're interested in Gen X gear, we got some pretty cool stuff over there at Redbubble. Gen X Thinks and Gen X branded stuff. T-shirts, coffee mugs, stickers, just cool stuff like that. But I'll put that link down in the description as well if you're interested. If you can't or don't want to support the channel in any of those ways, you can always do so by sharing these videos on your social media. That helps out a lot. Thank you very much to those of you who do that. I sincerely appreciate it. If you have any ideas for future episodes of Gen X Thinks, please put those down in the comments. Or you can email us, and the email is genxthinks@gmail.com. And as always, stay frosty, Gen X, and I'll see you on the next one.